Please join me in welcoming Jason Peterson, CEO of Neighborhood Works, who will provide an overview of this program.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jason. I'm with NeighborWorks Home Partners. NeighborWorks is a nonprofit. We're based out of St. Paul, Minnesota, but now we're doing statewide programs. And so I'm here to talk about a new program that we have that's available statewide down here. Our organization, our mission as our nonprofit is to help families buy, fix, and keep their homes. So all of our work is around home ownership. One of the things that we do is we provide housing counseling and education services. So we help folks get ready to buy a home. So, maybe if your credit isn't where it needs to be or savings or all these other pieces, we'll help with that. And we do that virtually as well. So while we have St. Paul office, we can do that online. And so if that's something you're interested in, that's a service we provide. There are other partners that do that work down here, but we also have some partners in the Twin Cities that do that in a number of languages and do that virtually as well. So I'll have information up here and I'll stick around after to answer questions. But those are some resources that you can access from anywhere. The other big thing that we do then is we are a lender. So we do a lot of down payment lending. So I want to talk tonight about two important programs. The first of which is a first generation down payment program. So the first generation down payment program, this is available statewide, and it's available for anybody that's never owned a home or lost their home to foreclosure, and their parents never owned a home or lost their home to foreclosure. So if that is your situation, you could be eligible for the first generation down payment program. That program is up to $32,000 or 10% of the cost of the home, and you can buy a home anywhere in Minnesota, and that loan forgives 20% a year over 5 years. So if you live in that home for 5 years, that whole down payment is forgiven. So it's a really good program, and it's available right now, and I'll have information on who you contact for that. But I would strongly encourage you, if you're a first-generation home buyer, if you've never owned a home and your parents have never owned a home, it's a really good resource for you. But what I'm here to talk about today, I'm really excited about, is the new Welcome Home program. So the Welcome Home program just launched a couple weeks ago. Credit is all due to the folks that you already heard speak. They're the ones that were able to get the dollars for this program. So I really want to shout out to the representatives and the senators that are here. They're the ones that, through the advocacy, made this happen, and we have this great investment. So the Welcome Home program, this was a $10 million program that is geared towards buyers looking to buy a home using fee-based, no-interest financing. So that is one of the requirements of this program. And so it's really a great, unique program. We've done this in the Twin Cities. We actually did this in the city of Woodbury for a number of years, and it worked really well. And so working with our partners, we were able to bring this program statewide. So really excited. It's a really unique opportunity. So talk a little bit about it. I'm going to answer any questions folks have. I'll also stick around. So if you have questions that you'd rather just come up and talk to me about after, that works great too. So the Welcome Home program. The most important thing to know about this program is it is a down payment program. And so you still have to get financing for the main financing piece. So this provides the down payment. What, again, is unique about this is the only financing that you can use is going to be fee-based, zero-interest financing. There are 3 lenders that you can work with: University Islamic Financial, or UIF, Guidance Financial, or Mubarak Mortgage. And so there's a handout, so you guys will have all of this. But you have to use one of those 3 lenders for the first financing. One of those lenders is actually over here right now, Guidance. But that's a really unique thing about this. So you're working with those as the first lender, and then we provide the down payment. So this down payment, it can be up to $50,000, 50, and 30% of the purchase price. And so as long as you're buying a home that costs more than $150,000, you can get $50,000 of down payment assistance. This down payment is zero interest. There is no interest at all. And not only is there no interest, it forgives. And so it forgives at 10% a year over 10 years. So if you live in the house for 10 years, you don't owe any of that $50,000 back. And it prorates. So if you live there for 5 years, you owe half of the money back. If you live there for 7 years, you would owe 30% of the money back. So it's really unique in that it's $50,000 and it forgives. So one of the requirements is that you do live in the home. So if you buy the home, you need to live there. You can't rent it out. It has to be your primary residence. If it's no longer your primary residence, then you would owe the remainder of it back. You can buy a 1 to 4 unit property. So you could buy a single family home, you could buy a duplex or a triplex or a quadplex. And you just need to live in one of the units. As long as you live in one of those units, that meets the requirement and you get to continue to stay there. Another great thing about this, you can buy a home anywhere in Minnesota. So this program works anywhere in Minnesota. And so it's one of the more unique programs in that there isn't that geographic requirement. There are some additional requirements related to eligibility. The income limit, so you can't make more than 130% of the area median income. So what does that mean? So if you are a single person, just yourself, you can't make more than $113,000 a year. If you're a family of 4, you can't make more than $161,000 a year. And so this is whoever's going to be on the financing. This isn't everybody in the house. So this is whoever's going to get the financing. That's the income limit. So you can't make more than this. This is a very generous program. Most programs only go to 80 or 100% area median income. So I have a breakdown all the way up to households of 8, and I can provide that information. Another eligibility requirement, you have to be a first-time home buyer. So you don't need to be first generation, but you have to be first-time home buyer. What does that mean? That means that you have not owned a home in the last 3 years. So if you've not owned a home in the last 3 years, you would be eligible. Another requirement, you have to be a Minnesota resident. So you have to currently be a Minnesota resident to access this program. So I want to talk a little bit about how the process works. So the first step in the process is to complete home buyer education. So this is either a workshop that you attend online or in person. They do them down here. They do them all throughout the state, or you can do them online, or there's an online option. And I have some information about this over there as well. That's the first step. You have to do that before you can move forward in the program. Our organization offers these online. They're offered free of charge from us. There's some partners will charge $40. There is an online version that charges $75, but there's a number of different options. There's different languages. There's different opportunities. That's the first step. Generally, it's an 8-hour workshop, and it's going to cover all the important things that you would go through in buying a home. If you don't do this first, you can't continue to move forward. So I would encourage all of you, if this is something you're interested in, to start with the Home Buyer Education Workshop. So what happens next? You complete the Home Buyer Education Workshop. Then what you would do is you would determine if you're ready to get the financing. And so you could either talk to one of those 3 lender partners, or you could come to an organization like ours, and we would tell you, we would look at your credit, we would look at your debt, we would look at your savings, and we would tell you if you would be ready to get that financing. So either way you go, the next step is to get that financing. What you will need to get in place before you can get the down payment is you're going to need to get what's called a pre-approval from one of the lenders. So again, there's a lender. We don't endorse any lender. They're all great lenders, but we do have one of our great lending partners over there. So if you want to know more about that process, Guidance is a great person to speak with, and they can let you know more about what that process looks. But then you will have then a commitment from Guidance or URF Mubarak saying you are pre-approved to go shopping for a house. So then you'll have that pre-approval. You can go shopping and find a house. Then your next step is to find a house. So once you find a house, you will have that first mortgage financing in place. You'll have your home buyer education done. Then you find a house. and then you enter into a purchase agreement to buy that home. Then you come to us, and then we commit that down payment assistance for you up to $50,000. So we've been seeing, we launched this program now about 3 weeks ago, and we've seen a number of folks through. The average home price that we're looking at right now is about $350,000, and they're getting $50,000 of down payment. I will say you can use this program with the first generation program as well. So we've had people get $50,000 through Welcome Home and $32,000 through the first generation program. So that could be something that you can mean both of those. So again, if you're looking at a $350,000 house, you can get $82,000 of down payment assistance. So it's a really, really great program. One thing that I will say is it does take time. So if you're going through this process, first it's starting on the home buyer education, and then it's working with a lender, and then that will really depend on your current situation. Once that's in place and you find a home, we still need 35 days to make sure we can get your loan closed. So the day that you do all these other things and you sign a purchase agreement, you find a house and you sign the contract, you got to give us a call right away and let us know. And we'll start working directly with your lender, and we'll get all the information we need, and we'll make sure we're moving you forward so you get your closings on time. We have our first closings for the program actually next Monday, and those are the people that came to us right when that 30 days started. Don't worry, there's still enough money out there, so and we're working diligently with our representatives to hopefully have some additional dollars. But it is a first come, first served program, so we would encourage you, if this is something you're interested in, to look into. So I want to talk through just quickly a few of the handouts I have over there, which folks can grab. So we have this handout, which is just a general flyer based on some information, and these are all right over here. This flyer is really going to be an important one for everybody. On the top, the first section, it says Minnesota Homeownership. So this is a statewide nonprofit that works with all the counseling and education groups. And if you go to their website and you're looking for the home buyer education class, they'll have a schedule, and they'll list all the organizations all across the state that are doing this. They'll list all the languages that it's in, all the times that it is. So that's a really great resource for you to search if you want to go to an in-person one anywhere in the state, or you want a different language or something like that. So the Minnesota Homeownership Center's information is listed there. Our information is also listed there, so if you want to connect with us on any of these services, you can. Also listed on there is the online home buyer education that you can do. So there is an option where you can just do this online. The next section there lists the three lenders, Guidance, Mubarak, and UIF, with their contact name and phone number. So again, Guidance is here if you'd like to talk to somebody now, but if you are interested in talking with another group, their names and phone numbers are on this sheet. On the back side, we did hear from a great realtor partner. We have some other realtors that primarily work in this space, and they're going to be really important to connect with because they've been pre-approved to work with these lenders. And so we have a list of about 12 realtors that would be a great resource for you on this. And then the last section is what you need to do. And so this is a really good handout that walks through that process. The last one, I'll just quickly highlight this short half sheet. This is all about our home buyer education workshops. So we do about 2 a month. One is usually in person and one is virtual. So virtual means you log in on a Zoom type call, but it is live. We have somebody there answering your questions, and we do interactive stuff. So here's a list of all of our classes that we have through the end of March, and these are all free of charge. So these are kind of the 3 big handouts that I have, and feel free to grab them after, and I'll stick around for them.